Time machine, as well as a crate of supplies. Here's how to launch. Find the power keys, then place them in the right spots.
You have my thanks.
You found a power key. Go slot it. Ally down! If you intend to rescue them, watch out for enemies.
Someone! You're a big help.
This proves it. As long as mortals exist, the multiverse will have no peace. I will not allow you to act on your own any further.
Shut up, nigga. Okay, basic.
Great! You know what to do with that key.
I owe you one.
Flying Nimbus!
Somebody's down. Excellent. Starlings are going to help them.
This ends now. This ends now.
That's it, bro.
My vision for the world shall be realized.
Due to Moro's boundless and growing strength. Receiving intel about Moro's whereabouts, the group narrow their search to sector KT-40. Goku opts to searching for Moro's key, only to be met with a sinister smile from the villain, indicating his awareness of Goku's pursuit of him. Goku shares with Vegeta an eerie sensation he got from Moro, stating the energy felt like the agonized screams of countless souls. Mirrors clarifies this disturbing feeling is due to Moro's capacity to siphon a planet's life force, explaining his unnaturally extended life. In a distant part of space, Moro, aboard his ship, discloses to Cranberry, his pilot, that someone is seeking him. Despite the diminished state of his magical abilities though, Moro is eager to reach their destination. Meanwhile, Goku deduces that Moro's target is New Namek, though he's puzzled about how Moro discovered its confidential location. Mirror suggests Moro's restored abilities now let him detect life-rich planets, and overhearing this, one of the captured siblings known as Pasta brings up rumors he's heard about Namekians and their Dragon Balls, shocking the Galactic Patrol. He mentions a fellow inmate who used to work for Frieza, seeking powerful fighters to help retrieve the balls. Apparently, this knowledge reached Moro, making the Dragon Balls his target. On Moro's ship, he revels in the fact that he regained a fraction of his magic in the nick of time. He credits his restored magic, emerging around the time of Kid Buu's defeat for his prison break, as well as Cranberry's escape. Cranberry reminds Moro of the Dragon Ball's potential to grant 3 wishes and urges him to honor their agreement to let him use just 1 wish for a safe haven from Frieza's army and the Galactic Patrol. Moro agrees, needing only 1 wish for himself. On New Namek, Mori and 2 young Namekians are praying and enjoying their peaceful life when suddenly one of the Namekian inhabitants notices Moro's ship approaching. Recognizing the imminent threat, Goku and Vegeta, refusing to wait for Buu to wake up, decide to use instant transmission to get to New Namek quickly. They arrive just as Moro descends, while Moro, who from his vantage point recognizes Goku as the one who was seeking him earlier and assumes he's come to apprehend him. Moro is impressed with Goku's energy, and the Saiyans swiftly warn the Namekians of the incoming threat, who then gather the Dragon Balls and retreat. Vegeta confirms the unsettling nature of Moro's ki, and Goku states how he's got a bad feeling about what's coming. Moro lands and exits the ship, the Saiyan pair then noticing how feeble he looks after so many years of living. However, the scene escalates when Moro, ignoring Goku's advice to return to prison quietly, employs his magic to ensnare a young Namekian named Eska. As Moro starts to strangle the child, Vegeta intervenes, rescuing Eska. Wanting to atone for his past misdeeds against the Namekians, Vegeta challenges Moro, telling Goku to stay out of it. Vegeta transforms into a Super Saiyan and charges toward Moro, but is unable to land any of his attacks. He pursues the villain and lands on top of his spaceship, as Cranberry recognizes Vegeta, wondering why he's joined the Galactic Patrol. Initially, Vegeta struggles against Moro's magic, but after ascending to Super Saiyan God, he manages to land a blow to Moro. Vegeta dismisses Moro's tactics, citing familiarity with various battle techniques from past fights. Meanwhile, on the Galactic Patrol spaceship, Mirrors decides they need to return to HQ for the Grand Supreme Kai's help. Jaco optimistically states that the Saiyans might prevail against Moro, but Mirrors says it's very unlikely. Back at the front line, Moro, shedding his cloak, prepares to unveil his true magic to Vegeta. Goku acknowledges Moro's capacity to siphon life energy, evident from his recent attempt on Eska. However, Moro hints at using this skill differently this time. Concurrently in space, Mirrors elaborates to Jaco that Moro's attacks harness the stolen energy from planets. Moro releases an energy surge from the planet, catching Vegeta off guard. Emphasizing that this force is used from the life energy of New Namek, Moro exploits the planet's innate energy, causing Vegeta to struggle. Vegeta takes flight to evade, only to be assailed by multiple energy streams of lava, pushing him toward the ground as the Namekians watch in the distance. When Vegeta lunges at Moro from the dried lava, the villain conjures an energy barrier for protection. Moro tells Vegeta his efforts are futile and uses his magic once more to thwart the Saiyans' attempts to pursue. Goku offers to step in and fight instead, but Vegeta tells him to shut up and watch. Vegeta taunts Moro about the repetitiveness of his attacks, but Moro counters, asserting that he can utilize the planet's energy until it's extinguished. Admitting his inability to approach Moro and lacking further power boosts, Vegeta questions Moro's reason for visiting New Namek, suggesting a potential alliance. Moro, while mocking Vegeta, entertains his offer, expressing his intent to gather the Namekian Dragon Balls. Doubting Vegeta's knowledge of the ball's location, Moro makes a move once more to end him with the planet's life force. Despite this onslaught, Vegeta withstands Moro, who now harnesses the planet's energy more aggressively. As Vegeta tries to hold off the attack, he inquires about Moro's wish, given his already immense strength. Moro confesses he seeks the full might of what he once had, which his imprisonment had diminished. Suddenly, using this confession to his advantage, Vegeta transforms into Super Saiyan Blue, easily blowing away the planet's energy that appeared to have him overwhelmed. Surprised, Moro questions if Vegeta was concealing his true strength, and Goku praises Vegeta, stating he allowed Moro to believe he could win so he'd reveal his intentions. Startled, Moro amplifies his assault, prompting Vegeta to ascend to Super Saiyan Blue Evolved, allowing him to easily evade and deliver a powerful blow, plunging Moro into the sea. Vegeta reverts to base form, and meanwhile, Goku notices something ominous with not only the planet, but his own energy as Moro emerges from the water. Sensing Moro's possible defeat, Cranberry decides to flee on his ship. This provides a distraction for Moro, who unleashes an onslaught of ki blasts at Goku and Vegeta and disappears. Goku finds the monster, only to discover him gathering the planet's energy once more, this time into a mass of lava larger than before. It's soon discovered among the Namekians that Moro is taking energy from their planet and its inhabitants, weakening them. Goku ponders about attacking Moro while he's charging energy, and instead of releasing said energy, Moro condenses and consumes it, enhancing his strength. Spotting Cranberry's departing ship, Moro uses telekinesis to ground it, stating he won't lose this battle. Goku acknowledges that Moro seems way stronger than before, and Vegeta realizes this is why Beerus wanted to capture him quickly. Vegeta attempts to transform into Super Saiyan Blue once more, but is unable to, prompting Goku to believe he must be joking around. As Vegeta attempts to transform once more, Beerus informs Jaco back on their spaceship that Moro is capable of stealing his opponent's energy while they're fighting, and that Goku and Vegeta challenged him without knowing all the facts. Vegeta states he's unable to transform, and now with the upper hand, Moro subdues Vegeta and launches him across New Namek's surface, revealing that he too had been hiding his true intent. With increased power, Moro effortlessly pushes Vegeta further into Namek's surface with his magic. Attempting to save his ally, Goku launches a kick at Moro, but the villain is easily able to block it and retaliate by ragdolling Goku around the planet and tossing him into lava, leaving him drained. Vegeta tries to retaliate with his Gallic gun, but Moro swallows the energy blast, further growing his power. Meanwhile, on Beerus' planet, Beerus is engaged in a fishing contest with the Oracle Fish out of boredom, and Whis detects a drop in energy levels on New Namek. Whis brings this to Beerus' attention and inquires if he intends to let the events unfold. Beerus nonchalantly consents, inciting the planet's lack of interesting food. Back on New Namek, Goku attempts to use instant transmission to return to the Galactic Patrol with Vegeta, but it fails due to his depleted energy. Suddenly, Moro strikes them with a massive energy blast, creating a crater, and remarks that such formidable foes were rare in this era, except for the Grand Supreme Kai, who had stolen his abilities. Moro swiftly lands and crushes Goku's stomach, then seizes him by the neck along with Vegeta thanks to his magic. With a final remark on how the Saiyans will allow him to grow even more powerful, Moro saps the remaining energy from Goku and Vegeta, leaving their seemingly lifeless bodies to the dust as he consumes his new meal and grows even stronger than he imagined, much to his surprise. With the battle concluded, Cranberry returns and tries to convince Moro that he never tried to abandon him, although Moro catches him in his lie. Cranberry employs his scouter to pinpoint the villages on the planet, each holding a Dragon Ball. However, Moro has no need for it, as he can sense the Namekians himself. As Moro heads toward the nearest village, Cranberry inquires if Goku and Vegeta are dead. Moro dismisses them, stating that those who are energy drained will meet their demise naturally, and the two depart in their spaceship. Soon after, nearby Namekians rush to Goku and Vegeta, rescuing them as they're barely breathing. On Earth, an irate Bulma, realizing it's been a week since Goku and Vegeta's departure, deduces the Galactic Patrol's involvement after questioning Hercule. She decides to visit her sister, Tights, to use her communicator to contact Jaco. Meanwhile, at Galactic Patrol HQ, Mears returns to find Buu awake and goes to meet him. Jaco receives a message and eventually contacts Bulma, who requests a ship to be sent her way. She wants to go see Moro herself, but Jaco hastily ends the call without giving a definite answer. Later on Namek, Mori watches over Goku and Vegeta, who have slightly recovered thanks to Eska's healing abilities. They learn they were unconscious for 3 days, and while they were resting, Moro attacked 3 villages and acquired their Dragon Balls. Suddenly, they sense Moro's power surging as he assaults another village, tossing Namekians into the surrounding flames and eliminating them one by one until someone gives up the Dragon Ball. Goku regrets his inability to teleport and assist, but Mori mentions they have one last resort, Namekian assimilation. This is the technique Piccolo did with Kami, as dozens of strong Namekian warriors from each village combine to create a formidable warrior who rushes in to confront Moro. However, Moro swiftly kills this warrior with a single blow before he can react, leaving the Namekian villagers in shock. Moro sarcastically apologizes for killing the warrior, stating he was gone before he could even see his face. Mori is deeply distraught over the loss of their last hope, the Namekian savior. Vegeta observes that Moro seems to have grown even stronger during their unconsciousness and regrets that they've been reduced to hiding. Goku inquires about how Moro was able to locate the Dragon Balls, and Vegeta explains that Moro is tracking the key of the Namekians, much like how Frieza did in the past. Goku states the final Dragon Ball should be safe for now, and suggests that the surviving Namekians temporarily evacuate the villages and conceal their energy to elude Moro's detection. Meanwhile, trampling over deceased Namekians at Moro's hands, Cranberry searches for the Dragon Ball within the houses, but struggles to find it. Moro directs him to a specific house, and Cranberry quickly locates it. He queries Moro about his ability to pinpoint their location, but Moro remains silent, indicating another Dragon Ball in the distance. Meanwhile on Earth, Dende senses a grave disturbance on his home planet. Piccolo, feeling the same concern, joins him on the lookout and speculates whether it has any connection to Goku and Vegeta, who had left Earth a few days ago. Moro continues his pursuit of the Dragon Balls, now in possession of 6 of them as he heads toward the final one's location. Goku and Vegeta sense Moro approaching their position, and with surprise, Vegeta notes that Moro must be able to sense the Dragon Balls directly. With limited options, Goku decides to get dressed and confront him, although Mori points out he and Vegeta nearly died last time. Vegeta follows, but pauses to inquire about Mori's feelings towards him regarding his past involvement in wiping out Namekians. Mori acknowledges that the memory can't be erased, but assures Vegeta that they only seek peace and the preservation of the planet. Vegeta joins Goku and instructs him to ensure the planet's restoration should he survive, and Goku agrees. Moro reaches the final Dragon Ball's location, surprised to find the 2 Saiyans are still alive. Cranberry states that Saiyans are a powerful race, but Moro vows to ensure their demise this time. Goku and Vegeta, recognizing Moro's pinpointed their location, powers up for battle, but their recent injuries leave them weakened. They rush toward Moro's ship, but before they collide, they're intercepted by a Galactic Patrol spaceship. Miris, riding atop the ship, shoots off the wings of Moro's vessel. Cranberry falls
Still
and
here
Moro
waiting, guys.
escapes
Still
through the
here
roof,
waiting.
pursued by Iriko piloting the ship. Miris closes in on Moro and deploys a substance that encapsulates Moro's body, much to everyone's surprise. Now in control, Miris slams Moro to the ground and he's unable to break free of the substance. Goku inquires whether they plan to return Moro to prison in his current state, but Miris explains the substance won't hold him for long and requests backup aboard the ship. Suddenly, Jocko and Boo descend from the ship with Boo still asleep. Jocko explains that Boo woke up briefly but experienced motion sickness during the journey, rendering him unconscious again. However, Boo eventually awakens and Jocko informs Vegeta that Boo can now seal Moro's magic thanks to the Galactic Patrol's hypnotist, which had rekindled the Grand Supreme Kai's memories within Boo. Upon seeing Moro, Boo recalls him as if he were the Grand Supreme Kai and becomes enraged by the number of his friends Moro had killed in the past. Moro, enraged with seeing the Grand Supreme Kai once more, breaks free from his confinement and prepares to battle Boo. With his anger continuing to boil, Boo lets out a furious cry and charges at Moro, who conjures a wall of fire from the ground. However, Boo effortlessly gets past it and delivers a powerful blow to Moro's face, surprising Goku and Vegeta. Moro punctures Boo's stomach, believing he's won the fight, but Boo's regenerative abilities give him the upper hand as he flings Moro into the air and launches a barrage of ki blasts at him, impressing onlookers with his strength. Moro attempts the energy absorption technique he used on the Saiyans, but Boo continues to dominate him. Vegeta points out to Goku that Boo's energy isn't diminishing and that Moro's absorption doesn't seem to affect Boo the way that it did them. Feeling hopeful, Goku declares Boo can finish this, and Moro inquires about Boo's abilities, but Boo simply laughs in response. In the ongoing battle, Boo maintains the upper hand against Moro, displaying a clear advantage. Moro's ki attacks prove ineffective against Boo, thanks to Boo's distinctive body structure and regenerative abilities. Goku, who's observing the battle, notes that despite not seeing Boo fight for a long time, he seems even stronger than before. Miris wonders if this newfound strength might be related to the unlocking of Boo's potential after his recent memory restoration, and Moro, meanwhile, having been thrown against a nearby rock, becomes infuriated, believing that he would have never been defeated if he had access to his full power. Boo taunts him, referring to him as weak, and sprouts 4 additional arms from his body, then charges at Moro and relentlessly pummels him into the ground. Goku is astonished at Boo's dominance, but Miris remains concerned about potential tricks Moro might have up his sleeve. He urges Boo to use a certain technique while Moro is defenseless, and Boo agrees as his detached arms continue to pummel Moro viciously. Boo grabs Moro's limbs, immobilizing him as Boo prepares his move, but suddenly the sky darkens. Amidst the confusion, the group notice that Porunga, the eternal dragon, has been summoned. Cranberry is responsible for summoning the dragon using Eska and resorts to violence against other Namekians, including Mori, who try to interfere. Porunga announces that he'll be granting 3 wishes. Cranberry's first wish is for his health to be restored since he's on the brink of death, and Porunga does so. Goku and Vegeta rush toward Porunga to stop Cranberry, while Moro telepathically contacts him, urging him to wish for the restoration of his full magical power. Although Cranberry hesitates, wanting to inquire about his own wish wish to escape to a distant planet, Moro threatens him, and Cranberry complies. Cranberry's second wish is to restore Moro's magical power, and Moro immediately senses the surge in his strength. Goku and Vegeta in the distance notice this as well, and Moro vanishes to head straight for Porunga, knocking Goku and Vegeta aside. While Cranberry is in the midst of making his final wish to be transported to a remote planet, Moro suddenly materializes behind him and thrusts his hand through Cranberry's chest, ending his life. Moro then uses Cranberry's translation device to speak to Porunga and prepares to make his final wish. In the meantime, Miris, Jocko, and Boo board the spaceship piloted by Iriko, making their way toward Moro. Moro's second and final wish is granted, and Porunga vanishes as the Dragon Balls scatter across New Namek. Goku and Vegeta arrive in Moro's location a moment too late, surrounded by the lifeless bodies of Namekians. They demand to know what Moro's second wish was, but he remains tight-lipped, telling them that they'll know soon enough. Just as the Galactic Patrol arrives, Moro bids his farewell and conceals his key to escape undetected. Boo uses his powers to heal Eska, but cannot revive the others who have perished. At that moment, the planet begins to tremble as Moro initiates the process of draining all the energy from it. Suddenly, Boo returns Goku and Vegeta to their full strength, but when Goku turns to express his gratitude, he finds the Grand Supreme Kai standing in Boo's place. The Grand Supreme Kai explains that until Moro is defeated, he will temporarily swap places with Boo, and they can still save New Namek if they hurry and confront Moro together. Goku prepares to use instant transmission as he, Vegeta, and the Grand Supreme Kai teleport to face Moro. Miris hopeful that the trio can finish him off. As Moro continues draining energy from both the people and the planet of New Namek, Miris, Jocko, and Eska make their escape aboard the Galactic Patrol spaceship. Meanwhile, Goku and Vegeta in their Super Saiyan Blue form, alongside the Grand Supreme Kai, materialize at the edge of Namek's atmosphere. They charge toward Moro together, but find themselves striking an afterimage. They attempt 2 more times and fail, realizing that Moro's actual body isn't present, leaving them puzzled about the source of his energy absorption. The Grand Supreme Kai spots Moro nearby, prompting Goku to charge in once more. However, Vegeta stops him, cautioning that Saiyans can't survive in the vacuum of space. The Grand Supreme Kai decides to confront Moro alone, but finds himself unable to pose any challenge as Moro effortlessly deflects and counters all his attacks, now having more of Namek's energy fueling him. Moro strikes him forcefully, sending the Kai deeper into space as he pursues him, out of Goku and Vegeta's sight. Meanwhile, Miris receives word from Iriko that Moro and the Grand Supreme Kai have left Namek's orbit, prompting them to prioritize helping Goku and Vegeta first. In space, the Grand Supreme Kai continues to valiantly battle Moro, though he's clearly outmatched. Moro taunts the Grand Supreme Kai, stating his powers no longer trouble him, but the Kai prepares to use his magic sealing technique once more. Confident, Moro tells the Kai to unleash his attack, but he remains motionless, confirming Moro's suspicions that he now lacks the power to unleash the sealing spell at all, a fact the Kai confirms. Meanwhile, Goku states that Moro's growing stronger, and suddenly, the Galactic Patrol appear and the group take off to pursue him, along with the Grand Supreme Kai. On board the ship, Goku questions why the Kai was unable to use the sealing technique, and Miris states it must be due to the splitting that Boo underwent long ago. Because the good Boo inherited the physical appearance of the Grand Supreme Kai, Miris hypothesizes that in turn, his god power was transferred to the evil Boo instead. Goku is surprised that Kid Boo actually had god power within him, and meanwhile, the Grand Supreme Kai continues to get pummeled in space by Moro. Moro taunts the Kai and delivers a powerful kick that sends him hurtling further into space. Upon crash landing, the Grand Supreme Kai's latent memories are unlocked, revealing a vision of the past when Goku defeated Kid Buu with the Spirit Bomb, and realizes that when he was killed, his power vanished along with him. Moro was able to view the memories as well, and revels in the fact that no one in the universe could possibly defeat him anymore. Back on Miris' ship, Vegeta acknowledges that their only option now is to rely on sheer brute force rather than deception. As the ship approaches Moro's location, Miris questions the Saiyans on if they can guarantee they're more powerful than Moro. Vegeta confidently asserts that aside from Moro's magic, they're superior fighters, with a single Super Saiyan Blue at full power being sufficient enough to handle him. Satisfied, Miris dons a spacesuit and vows to retrieve Moro and return him to Namek, and he takes off. As Moro prepares to land what appears to be a finishing blow to the Grand Supreme Kai, Miris intervenes and provides a distraction long enough to bring the Kai to safety. safety. He informs him of his plan to bring Moro back to Namek and inquires whether the Kai can use instant transmission, and the Kai confirms his ability. Their conversation is interrupted by Moro, who lands irate, prepared to do away with the Galactic Patrol. Mirrors distracts Moro with his weapon, prompting him to attempt a finishing blow on the Galactic Patrolman. Mirrors uses the opportunity to use the substance from his arsenal to grab hold of a compromised boulder and hurl it at Moro, who quickly turns to destroy it with ease. However, Mirrors suddenly appears from the air and momentarily blinds Moro using his jet booster in his boots. This gives the Grand Supreme Kai the opportunity to grasp Moro and teleport him back to Namek, where Goku and Vegeta await. Mirrors urges Jocko to take the ship back to Namek, but Jocko remains confident that Goku and Vegeta can finish the job. Meanwhile, Moro appears to gloat over the remaining energy on the planet for him to consume. When Vegeta threatens to destroy him, Moro laughs and reveals the Saiyans have forgotten about something quite important: the third wish from Porunga. At the Galactic Prison, two Galactic
guys, we found a
Patrol
match.
members
Should
evaluate
start
the
2 minutes.
aftermath of Moro's escape. One of them suggests caution regarding the other convicts, but his colleague reassures him that the prisoners couldn't break out on their own. They proceed to the control tower filled with hundreds of prisoners, where they observe Calamus leading the Macaroni gang to their cells. Suddenly, a surge of energy from New Namek races through the cosmos and touches down at the Galactic Prison, disabling the power and causing all the convicts' cells to open. The convicts start to break free, including Saganbo, a follower of Moro, who greets a few of his fellow inmates and mobilizes a group of Galactic Patrol prisoners to attack the guards, seizing their weapons and demanding the return of their spaceships. He invites other convicts, including the Macaroni gang, to join their uprising. Meanwhile, Jocko and Miris, still aboard their Galactic Patrol spaceship, receive word of the prison break from Iriko. Eska then has a sudden realization, recalling Moro's third wish, the release of all prisoners. As Moro informs Goku and Vegeta about his wish, the convicts arrive on a spaceship nearby. The ship unleashes a powerful energy beam at Goku, Vegeta, and the Grand Supreme Kai, but they narrowly evade it. Moro lands on the ship, and Saganbo shows his respect by bowing. Moro praises him for assembling a small army and offers to share his power with them in return. Below, Goku and Vegeta sense the convicts' energy surge as a group of them leap from the ship, ready to confront the trio. Moro unleashes the convicts, and Goku and Vegeta transform into perfected Super Saiyan Blue and effortlessly defeat them, leaving everyone in awe of their strength. Saganbo, however, motivates the convicts
Can you hear me?
Flying Nimbus!
Trunks, I've set a super time machine, as well as a crate of supplies. Here's how to launch. Find the power keys, then place them
Out of all 5 areas, he has to go destroy C. I don't fucking understand why these guys do this shit. 2 civilians I just lost. Guy steals my civilian, I'm not saving him. Not much I could have done, bro.
That's a new power key.
Flying Nimbus!
Great. You know what to do with that key.
Stay calm. Stay calm.
Again, nothing I could do, bro. We got KO'd.
Now.
To keep fighting or risk return to prison. The battle continues, but Moro begins to absorb energy from Goku and Vegeta once more, causing them to revert to Super Saiyan God. Goku charges at Moro, but he reverts to Super Saiyan 3 and is struck down by Saganbo. Vegeta, also weakened by the energy absorption, struggles, as does the Grand Supreme Kai due to his previous battle with Moro in space. Goku and Vegeta, now in their Super Saiyan form, continue to fend off the convicts while Goku questions Moro's motives. Moro explains that he aims to create an ideal galaxy where he can consume planets as he pleases. He despises the idea of preserving peace and believes that such individuals should be eradicated. Goku and Vegeta then unwillingly revert to their base forms, drained of their max power once more. As they continue to fend off the convicts, who regrettably aren't getting any weaker thanks to Moro, Miris and Jaco descend to the ground to aid their comrades, utilizing advanced weaponry to incapacitate the convicts. Miris suggests retreating, acknowledging that as things are now, they can't defeat Moro. Eska uses his healing ability to restore some of the Grand Supreme Kai's strength, and Saganbo attempts to destroy the spaceship they came in, although Miris thwarts his attempt, surprising Saganbo as he knocked the gun from his hand from a sizable distance. Goku tells Iriko to retreat with the ship, and Miris urges the Grand Supreme Kai to retreat using his instant transmission, which he does swiftly as he takes Eska with him. Goku grabs Jaco and Miris, intending to use instant transmission to escape to Galactic Patrol HQ, but he's delayed by Vegeta, who refuses to leave out of pride and instructs Goku to go on without him before flying off in the direction of Iriko's ship. Left with no other option, Goku teleports away with everyone but Vegeta. Vegeta catches up to Iriko's spaceship and demands entry, and meanwhile, Goku and the others appear in the bathroom of the Galactic King, confused on what Vegeta meant from his speech. As the convicts chase the ship Vegeta's on, Iriko Vegito pushes it to max speed, narrowly evading their pursuit. Iriko informs Vegeta that they're also returning to HQ, but Vegeta refuses and insists on heading into a different direction, planet Yardrat. Meanwhile, the Galactic Patrol prisoners board their ship as Moro completes the absorption of the last remnants of life energy from New Namek. Saganbo inquires about the sudden disappearance of the Galactic Patrol and inquires if they're dead, but Moro clarifies that they escaped using teleportation. Saganbo then questions Moro on who they should pursue first, but Moro decides against going after anyone, considering powerful individuals like them rare. He states that they're free to roam the universe for now, but warns that he'll kill them if they interfere again. Moro then questions Saganbo on if he knows of any planets abundant in life energy, given his past involvement in a crew that ravaged the galaxy. Saganbo confirms, and the two head back inside the ship, where some scouts board smaller vessels to search the galaxy, and the main ship departs from the dying New Namek. At Galactic Patrol HQ, the Galactic King learns of the escape of prisoners from the Galactic Prison, including Moro. He assumed Mirus would resolve the issue, but is informed that Moro's strength exceeded their expectations. Goku, walking alongside them, notices Eska, who fortunately made it back to HQ. Goku questions where Boo is, only to see he's fallen asleep and reverted from the Grand Supreme Kai once more, due to his recent battle on Namek. Eska inquires about Vegeta's whereabouts, and Goku replies that Vegeta is likely off training elsewhere, considering their usual tactics ineffective against Moro and exploring new strategies. Meanwhile, Vegeta, aboard a Galactic Patrol vessel, senses Moro heading in the opposite direction. Iriko informs him that it's Saganbo's ship, the fastest one he knows of. When Vegeta inquires about Saganbo, Iriko reminds him of the strongest fighter who stood with Moro. However, Vegeta dismisses Saganbo's strength, stating that without Moro's assistance, Saganbo couldn't even defeat his son, Trunks. Iriko reveals that it'll take 1 week to reach planet Yardrat and questions Vegeta about his purpose for going there. Vegeta explains that Yardratians possess unique techniques like instant transmission, which Goku learned, and hopes to acquire a technique that might help him against Moro, although he does so reluctantly. In his room, Vegeta vows that the next time he faces Moro, he'll defeat him and surpass Goku. Several days later, Saganbo and his crew arrive at planet Zune, easily overpowering the planet's defenders who sought to protect their royal treasure. After seizing the treasure, one of the convicts 7-3 decides to finish off any remaining inhabitants by blasting them all away with I-beams unnecessarily, although Saganbo urges him to stop in order to leave as much energy for Moro as they can. The group return to the ship, and Moro absorbs the planet's life energy, destroying it and enhancing his power once more. Saganbo then receives a report from one of his scouts about a planet brimming with energetic monsters, prompting Moro and his crew to set a course for their destination while they strip the planet of its treasures. Meanwhile, at Galactic Patrol HQ, news of Zune's devastation reaches them. Mirus suspects Moro is going after planets beyond the Galactic Patrol's reach, and Goku fears that after just a few days, Moro's gotten even stronger than before. Mirus mourns that their chances of defeating Moro are now exceedingly slim, but Goku questions if Mirus fighting would make a difference. Goku proposes a test and attempts to land a punch on Mirus, but Mirus effortlessly evades him. Jocko attempts to halt the altercation, but Goku expresses his desire to gauge Mirus' true power and invites him to a sparring match in a specially reinforced training room. Goku continues his attempts to strike Mirus, but is unable to connect. He escalates by transforming into a Super Saiyan, yet Mirus dodges every blow. Goku switches to Super Saiyan 3, but his attacks still remain ineffective. It's only when Goku becomes a Super Saiyan God that the room starts breaking apart, prompting the two to stop the test as further escalation would destroy the room. With Goku's suspicions confirmed, he surprises Mirus by asking him to train him, as he believes Mirus possesses knowledge he lacks. Goku reveals he aims to master a certain technique and believes training with Mirus could help him get closer to achieving it. Mirus agrees to Goku's proposal, but suggests a different location for their training. Meanwhile, on planet Jung, the Macarini gang successfully steals the blue Aurum they previously attempted due to the Galactic Patrol being out of the picture. Pasta, who'd possessed fake loyalty to Moro, tells his brother Getty to call Saganbo with a false story about scouting for another planet for Moro's energy absorption. As they depart planet Jung, the gang contemplate their next target and recalls their encounter with the Galactic Patrol and whom Goku had previously informed them about. They express their gratitude to both Goku and Vegeta for defeating the Ginyu Force, who had caused trouble on their planet long ago. Vegeta inquires about the Yardrat who taught Goku instant transmission, and one of the Yardrats make the others disappear, revealing that he was alone all along. This Yardrat explains that they occasionally intentionally create copies of themselves to deter unwanted visitors, and then leads Vegeta to meet their elder. The elder, named Pabara, mistakenly believes Iriko is Vegeta and proceeds to converse with him, although he's soon corrected. Vegeta clarifies the situation to Pabara, expressing his desire to defeat Moro and hoping to acquire a new technique. Pabara, however, informs Vegeta that Yardratians focus only on a single technique called Spirit Control, as they're a relatively weak race. They demonstrate some of these abilities, including instant transmission, multiform, and gigantification, which involves manipulating their own spirits to shift, split, and grow. The Elder states that should Vegeta study how the spirit functions, he'll be able to do the same, and Vegeta expresses a desire to learn Spirit Control. A few days later, Goku and Mirrors embark on training on another planet. Meanwhile, time passes at the Galactic Patrol HQ, and with Goku, Mirrors, and Vegeta absent, the Galactic King suggests recruiting new special members for the Galactic Patrol. He inquires with Jocko about Piccolo, the warrior from the Universe 6 tournament they'd attended in the past. At the lookout, Piccolo attempts telepathic communication with someone on New Namek, unaware of the planet's destruction by Moro, but wary that something awful has happened. Meanwhile, the Macaroni gang arrives on Earth in search of Blue Aurum. Piccolo senses their approach and informs Dende. However, Piccolo doesn't seem worried, as he states their energy signatures are weak. Moments later in a rocky plain, Piccolo confronts the group as they're searching for a place to land. Noticing Piccolo, the gang use their ship's weapons to attack him, but he evades the gunfire and lands on top of their ship, admonishing them for their rudeness. Meanwhile, Bulma, accompanied by Hercule and Bola, arrive at the lookout in search of Piccolo. Apparently, Jocko had called to inform her that he was on his way to Earth to recruit Piccolo into the Galactic Patrol. Back on the battlefield, Piccolo makes quick work of the Macaroni gang, surprising them as they had no idea someone this strong lived on Earth. After Jocko explains the situation via communicator at the lookout, he tells Bulma to gather Gohan, Krillin, and Tien in preparation for his arrival. He goes on to say that if Moro catches wind of Earth anytime soon, he'll make his way there to steal its energy. Meanwhile, Piccolo questions the now restrained Macaroni gang, suspecting their connection to the cosmic disturbances. The gang attempts to deceive Piccolo by pretending to be innocent travelers. However, they secretly plan to inform Moro about the Earth and the opportunity to steal Blue Aurum. Convinced that they're not involved after all, Piccolo releases the group and warns them to never return to Earth again. As they depart, Bulma and Dende approach Piccolo in a ship, with Dende urging Piccolo to capture the gang as they're allied with those causing trouble. Piccolo shoots down the Macaroni gang's ship and captures them again, but he's informed that it's too late as the gang already alerted Moro's main forces. In space, Saganbo receives a distress signal from the Macaroni gang, prompting Moro to dispatch a stronger scouting party to investigate. Meanwhile, Goku and Mirrors begin their training, with Mirrors wielding a staff and gaining the upper hand. Goku mentions that to acquire his desired ability, he needs to clear his mind and heart, but this proves challenging during their combat with his fluctuating emotions. Mirrors points out that emotions can also lead to power, such as Goku's Super Saiyan form fueled by rage. However, what Goku seeks requires the opposite, calmness. Mirrors reveals he knew about Goku's pursuit of Ultra Instinct, but kept it quiet. Goku, however, reassures him and tells him it's fine, and suggests they resume training, surprising him. Mirrors, now resolved, leads Goku to the Galactic Patrol's hyperbolic time chamber, where every day inside equals to 3 days outside. They enter to allow Mirrors to unleash his full power without detection, and Mirrors questions if Goku is ready to continue their training, as Goku eagerly agrees. At the lookout, Bulma briefs Krillin on the current situation and inquires about the whereabouts of Gohan and Tien. Krillin informs her that Gohan is attending a college lecture and will join them later, and Tien doesn't have a cell phone, making him unreachable. The idea of contacting Yamcha is brought up, but before anyone can respond, Jocko arrives, expressing frustration about the lack of formidable warriors present. Eska, also aboard the ship, greets Dende. Jocko then informs Piccolo that he, Dende, and Eska are the 3 last surviving Namekians. Suddenly, Pasta, confined in a cage, voices his doubts about the group's chances against Moro. Jocko approaches and threatens him, warning that they'll soon return to prison. However, Pasta shocks Jocko by revealing that Moro's main force is on its way to Earth to rescue them. Simultaneously, a single ship carrying Shimareka, 7-3, and Yunba heads toward Earth. While discussing Earth's value, 7-3 states that it's in its development stage, based on outdated information from before they were incarcerated in the galactic prison. With Yunba hungry, they decide to make a brief pit stop on a nearby planet. Back on Earth, the Galactic Patrol informs Jocko about about the impending arrival of the three henchmen, particularly 7-3, whose name brings about fear in Jocko's expression. After sharing this vague information with the others, Jocko prepares to leave, but Bulma attempts to stop him. Piccolo questions Jocko about what they need to know regarding the approaching henchmen, and Jocko agrees to provide some insight before departing. Jocko explains that while all three henchmen are formidable, 7-3 is the most concerning. Meanwhile, Shimareka and Yumba are on a planet indulging in a feast while 7-3 confronts the planet's inhabitants. He uses his power absorbing ability to steal their abilities and swiftly incapacitates them. At the lookout, Jocko continues his explanation, stating that any ability 7-3 has stolen lasts for half an hour. He also reveals that 7-3 is an artificial being created by a technologically advanced planet, devoid of emotions and designed as a ruthless killing machine programmed to follow orders. Krillin inquires about the convict's ETA to Earth, and the response from Jocko is 10 days. However, 7-3 along with Yunba and Shimareka suddenly appear at the lookout, surprising everyone as they were able to steal the abilities of a creature on the planet who could create warp portals. Shimareka then notices the Macarini gang in their cage and informs them that Moro considers traitors expendable. He moves to execute them, much to their shock, but is halted by Piccolo, who tells them that killing is prohibited at the sanctuary, where evildoers aren't welcome. However, 7-3 swiftly appears behind Piccolo, seizing him by the neck and copies his abilities. Piccolo manages to break free from 7-3's grasp and narrowly dodges a special beam cannon fired by the artificial being. 7-3 follows up with a punch that extends toward Jocko, knocking him off the lookout. Piccolo races after Jocko, believing him unable to fly, with 7-3 and Shimareka in pursuit. Krillin attempts to assist, but is halted by Yunba, who plans to take him on. In freefall, Jocko activates the jet boosters in his boots, allowing him to land safely to Piccolo's surprise. Piccolo questions Jocko about the best way to fight 7-3, and Jocko explains that 7-3's copied attacks are as powerful as if they were executed by the original fighter, essentially like battling a mirror image of oneself. 7-3 then appears and locks arms with Piccolo using his own extending technique, and the two then land to meet each other with a headbutt. At the same time, Jocko engages Shimareka in combat as he stole his sidearm by surprise. Despite sharing the same techniques and power, Piccolo seems to be at a disadvantage due to 7-3's limitless stamina, pointed out by Jocko, who previously forgot to mention it. At the lookout, Krillin faces difficulties against Yunba, and Hercule tries to assist him thanks to Bulma's intervention. However, before Hercule can react, Yunba leaps around the sanctuary and transforms into a ball and strikes Krillin, sending both of them crashing through the sanctuary. Bulma and the others board the ship to follow the combatants, and meanwhile, Piccolo and 7-3 engage in a special beam cannon clash, but Piccolo struggles due to his diminished energy. The Namekian is seemingly overwhelmed, and Jocko fears that he may have been obliterated. However, Piccolo was saved by Gohan, who suddenly arrived. Piccolo warns Gohan about 7-3's ability and informs him that, in Goku and Vegeta's absence, he's Earth's strongest fighter. Meanwhile, on an uninhabited planet, Goku and Beerus continue their training, though Goku encounters difficulties. Beerus inquires if Ultra Instinct was initially triggered during an extreme crisis and suggests replicating those conditions. He states that Goku must be prepared to die during their training, and a battered Goku stands, telling Beerus to attack him with the intent to kill. Simultaneously, Vegeta is shown training on planet Yardrat, attempting to meditate on a narrow spike, but running out of patience. He questions Pibara on how much longer his training will take, and Pibara explains that Vegeta must achieve balance in body and mind, as his spirit is less stable than Goku's. One of the Yardrats tells Vegeta that Goku was able to meditate this long for 150 days, and Vegeta starts to regret his decision to come to Yardrat. Gohan lands a powerful punch to 7-3's midsection, sending him plummeting to the ground. However, 7-3 bounces back and retaliates quickly by using Piccolo's Hell Zone grenade technique. Gohan manages to escape the explosion and swiftly reappears behind his opponent, delivering a powerful blow that incapacitates 7-3. Piccolo joins Gohan, offering praise but also expressing mixed feelings about seeing Gohan defeat a copy of him so easily, as he gives him new clothes and urges him to finish the job. 7-3, not yet defeated, resorts to using the Great Namekian technique to grow to an enormous size. However, this transformation grants Gohan an advantage in terms of maneuverability, allowing him to evade all of 7-3's attacks and eventually sending him crashing to the ground. Shimareka and Yunba rush to 7-3's aid, with Shimareka urging his fallen comrade to copy Gohan's abilities at any cost. 7-3 rises to his feet and begins utilizing Piccolo's Piccolo's Demon Hand technique to extend his arms. Gohan evades the attacks while charging up an ultimate Kamehameha, flying in and out of the rocky terrain before preparing to unleash it directly at 7-3's face. However, just as Gohan is about to release the Kamehameha, 7-3's 30-minute time limit for Piccolo's abilities expires. Jocko urges Gohan to fire the blast anyway to finish him off while he has the chance, and as Gohan launches the blast, Shimareka commands 7-3 to utilize any stored abilities he has in stock. 7-3 then switches to Moro's abilities before the Kamehameha detonates. A huge flash of light ensues, and as the effects dissipate, 7-3 is left unharmed, surprising Piccolo, who confirms that he was able to eat the Kamehameha. Jocko informs the surprised Piccolo that 7-3 can actually switch between copied abilities and can store up to 3 identities at a time. 7-3 then raises his hand, and Jocko urgently instructs his companions to take him down immediately to prevent energy absorption, similar to the technique Moro used on New Namek. Piccolo, Krillin, and Jocko charge at 7-3, but their advance is halted by an energy barrier rising from the earth, enveloping him. Gohan attempts to attack as well, but his efforts are halted too. Shimareka then contacts Saganbo to report the situation, and Moro is intrigued to learn that his abilities were already put to use, disliking the idea of it becoming a regular occurrence. Saganbo instructs Shimareka to switch to monitor mode, allowing those on the ship to observe the events on Earth. Back on Earth, Gohan, Piccolo, Krillin, and Jocko start feeling the effects of their energy being drained, although the energy isn't drawn from the Earth itself, as it's been reserved solely for Moro. As Moro observes, Saganbo states he's surprised to see that the planet harbors fighters more formidable than his own men. Shimareka and Yunba overwhelm the exhausted heroes, but Piccolo reminds Shimareka not to get overconfident, emphasizing that even if they fall, Goku and Vegeta will eventually return to avenge them. When Krillin reveals that Goku and Vegeta are training to defeat Moro, the information is transmitted to those aboard the ship. Saganbo suggests they should proceed to destroy Earth and orders his men to withdraw. However, Moro realizes that once Goku and Vegeta's training is complete, they'll possess even more energy for him to consume. Moro then tells Saganbo to inform his men to retreat from Earth, only to return once Goku and Vegeta arrive. The trio then cease their assault on the Z-Fighters and begin their departure, informing them that they'll return in Galactic Cycle 7, which translates to 20 Earth days. However, Jocko interjects, explaining that due to Earth's primitive technology, they won't be able to arrive until Galactic Cycle 8. Shimareka acknowledges this and states he'll relay the message to Moro, much to Jocko's relief. The trio then depart using 7-3's copied abilities, and Jocko informs Gohan, Piccolo, and Krillin that they have approximately 2 months until their return. Meanwhile, Mirror receives information from the Galactic Patrol regarding Moro's impending arrival on Earth and relays the news to Goku. Given Goku and Mirror's location, they're granted a 6-month window to train. Ready to resume their training, Goku notices that he's never seen Mirror eat before. Mirror explains that it makes no difference to him, which triggers Goku's recollection of Whis mentioning something similar in the past. The two continue their training, and at the same time, at Zeno's palace, Whis uses his staff to monitor Goku and Mirror. The Grand Priest joins him, and Whis apologizes for the disruption in his universe. He informs the Grand Priest that he's there to discuss the matters related to their angel laws, and the Grand Priest correctly deduces that his son refers to the situation with Mirror. The Grand Priest informs Whis about his decision regarding Mirror, the angel trainee he'd sent to Universe 7 to gain a broader perspective on the mortal world. Despite the rule that angels must remain impartial though, Mirror joined the Galactic Patrol and developed a strong sense of right and wrong. The Grand Priest has decided it's time to recall Mirror, but Whis requests permission to handle Mirror in his own way. Whis reminds his father that Mirror had only used mortal weapons in battle and was training Goku, similar to what Whis himself has done in the past. The Grand Priest ultimately accepts Whis' proposal, but urges him to keep a close eye on Mirror as he doesn't wish to lose an angel. On planet Yardrat, Eriko struggles to establish contact with Galactic Patrol HQ. Suddenly, he becomes aware of one of Moro's spaceships arriving to scout the planet for a potential energy source. Meanwhile, Vegeta continues his training under the guidance of Elder Pibara. By this time, Vegeta has honed his spirit to a greater extent than Goku did, and when Pibara heals Vegeta's injuries, he expresses a desire to learn such a technique. However, Pibara explains that it's too advanced for him at the moment and suggests focusing on learning a more basic technique, instant transmission. Suddenly, an explosion occurs in the distance. Eriko flies in and alerts Vegeta about Saganbo's men arriving arriving, and Vegeta prepares to rush back to the city, although he's warned by Pibara to be mindful about how he wields his power as he's still in training. Confused, Vegeta takes off to a nearby city on Yardrat, encountering Yuzin and 2 other henchmen. Yuzin berates Vegeta and attempts to contact Moro, but Vegeta surprises everyone by unleashing a remarkably powerful blast from his fingertip by mistake, hitting Yuzin head on. Pibara arrives and tells Vegeta to stop wrecking his planet, but then reveals that the Saiyan's newfound strength is a result of his balanced body and spirit, which he achieved during his training. Yuzin orders his comrades to attack Vegeta, but Vegeta easily defeats them. Infuriated, Yuzin then transforms into a more formidable, monstrous form, but this doesn't faze Vegeta, who's seen many like him before, and dominates the battle. Securing victory, Vegeta tells Yuzin to surrender and return to the galactic prison, otherwise he'll have to kill him. Yuzin, however, refuses, telling Vegeta that he'll soon be sorry, as Moro's next target is a planet called Earth. This shocks Vegeta, and Yuzin taunts him as his henchmen stealthily prepare their getaway. Yuzin tries to make a hasty escape in his spaceship, but before Vegeta can shoot it down, a deflected and hardened building from their earlier battle returns and destroys Yuzin's spaceship, killing him and his comrades. With his enhanced senses, Vegeta can sense that Earth hasn't been invaded yet. However, with time running short, he tells Pibara to teach him a technique that can be used against Moro, and Pibara agrees. Meanwhile, Moro senses Vegeta's energy on Yardrat and comments on how much stronger he's become. During the next 2 months, Moro continues his planet-devouring rampage across Universe 7, while Goku and Vegeta make significant progress in their training. As the deadline approaches, Mirror's queries Goku for one final sparring session before returning to Earth. They decide not to hold back and begin powering up, but suddenly find themselves outside with Whis nearby. Goku is surprised to learn that Mirror is Whis' younger brother and an angel, and Whis scolds Mirror for his plan to use his full strength in battle and travel to Earth to confront Moro. Goku questions what would happen if an angel fought, and Whis explains that angels who violate their code are erased from existence without a trace. Whis informs Mirror that his time in the mortal realm is over, and with a tap on his staff, reveals Mirror's angelic clothing and halo. Mirror apologizes to Goku for not being able to see the task to the end, but expresses confidence in his ability to defeat Moro. Mirror and Whis then depart for the angel world, and left alone, Goku realizes he needs to return to Earth, but finds himself with a galactic patrol ship that he has no idea how to operate. Meanwhile, Jaco, accompanied by several other members of the Galactic Patrol, arrive on Earth in anticipation for Moro's impending attack. They join Gohan, Piccolo, Krillin, Tien, Yamcha, Chaozu, and Master Roshi. Yamcha is eager for a chance to shine. Chaozu is uneasy due to his long absence from combat, and Krillin inquires about the whereabouts of Goku and Vegeta. Jaco informs Krillin that he's alerted Goku, but has no information on Vegeta's location, confident that both will arrive eventually. At the lookout, Buu is returned to Earth by another Galactic Patrol member, and suddenly, Dende and Mr. Popo spot Saganbo's spaceship entering Earth's atmosphere. Multiple smaller ships emerge from the main vessel and disperse across Earth, opening fire on high-value structures. The pilots disembark from their aircrafts with intentions on claiming the treasures within these structures for themselves, and the Earthlings attempt to defend themselves. Recognizing the situation, Master Roshi proposes that the group split up, while Gohan and Piccolo deal with the main threat. Krillin and Master Roshi come across Yunba first. As they confront Yunba, Krillin launches an attack, but Yunba blocks it and recognizes him. Krillin asserts that he's trained for 2 months to prepare, and Yunba prepares to settle things as a trio of female convicts accompanying him, who Master Roshi notices, decides to target other locations on Earth to incite chaos. Krillin attempts to warn Master Roshi about Yunba's deceptive speed, but Master Roshi is more interested in the women and pursues them instead. Leaving Krillin dumbfounded, Yunba takes the opportunity to land a powerful blow to his face, sending him crashing into a nearby structure. Meanwhile, Gohan and Piccolo face Shimareka, who's joined by 7-3. 7-3, camouflaged, suddenly appears behind them and grabs both Gohan and Piccolo by their necks, copying their abilities. Jaco reprimands Gohan and Piccolo for letting their guard down, and Shimareka taunts them, claiming their training was in vain. 7-3 fires a special beam cannon, but Gohan creates an energy shield to block it. Piccolo powers up and fires a special beam cannon of his own at 7-3, overpowering his enemy's blast and catching the attention of the Z fighters across the globe as he severely damages 7-3's upper body and left arm. 7-3 regenerates using Piccolo's abilities, but Gohan and Piccolo don't seem worried as they were ready for their abilities to be copied. Believing the two to be bluffing, Shimareka Shimareka advises 7-3 to switch to Gohan's abilities since he's the strongest between the two. 7-3 then fires a volley of energy shots at them. Gohan uses Piccolo's energy shots as footholds to approach quickly and delivers a punch that sends 7-3 into the sea. Jaco commends their teamwork, acknowledging that 7-3 can't evade their combined attacks. Elsewhere, Yamcha engages 3 of Moro's henchmen in battle within a city and gains the upper hand. One of the henchmen is surprised because Yamcha appeared weak, but Yamcha corrects him, asserting himself as one of the 3 strongest Earthlings. After a brief skirmish, Yamcha prevails and instructs the Galactic Patrol members to apprehend the defeated henchmen. He then senses more convicts and heads off as the Galactic Patrol follows. Back on the main battlefield, Gohan and Piccolo execute the Masenko Beam Cannon, a combination of the Masenko and Special Beam Cannon techniques, further damaging 7-3. However, it's not enough to defeat him. Shimareka instructs 7-3 to switch to Moro's abilities to drain their energy, but to their surprise, androids 17 and 18 suddenly arrive to kick them in the face. 17 questions their enemy's strength and ponders if Piccolo really needs them, but Piccolo explains that 17 and 18 are the only ones who can finish the battle, as they don't have ki that can be absorbed. Aboard his spaceship, Moro berates his men for failing to meet even his lowest expectations of them. When Saganbo inquires
Let the carnival of terror begin. Give me the Dragon Ball.
I have none.
Very well then. Give me the Dragon Ball.
Dragon, whatchamacallit? What
If you do not have them, then I have no need for you. Give me the Dragon Ball.
Even if I had one, why would I give it?
Then I have no need.
Easy level 2.
Where are the Dragon Balls? Very well. I'll make sure your death is quick.
Give me the Dragon Balls. What are those? If you cannot have them, then I have no need.
I put some heat on the time machine. That's exactly what I did not want to hear.
Dragon.
You're no match for me.
Inquires about their next move. Moro assures him not to worry and announces his intention to personally handle the situation. Meanwhile, on planet Yardrat, Vegeta continues his training under Pibara's guidance. Pibara senses the disturbance in Earth's spirit, but Vegeta is intent to focus on mastering his new technique. Vegeta mentions that he still has time, as Moro hasn't entered the battle himself yet, and in another part of Universe 7, Goku stops on a planet to ask the locals for directions to Earth. Elsewhere in deep space, Frieza also sits in orbit with his crew, originally poised to set a course for Earth, but deciding to move on, as tangling with galactic prisoners right now would be troublesome for him. Back at the lookout, Bulma finishes configuring monitors linked to drones, providing Chi-Chi and the others with a view of the ongoing battles on the ground. Krillin remains engaged in his fight with Yunba, launching a Destructo Disc Hexa Blade, but Yunba deflects them with his extreme speed body rotation. Landing several strong blows, Yunba sends Krillin crashing to the ground. However, Krillin quickly recovers and resumes the attack, sending one of the discs hurtling back and narrowly cutting Yunba. In a clever move, Krillin uses his after image technique to deceive Yunba with incoming Destructo discs. He appears behind Yunba and unleashes a powerful Kamehameha that sends him crashing to the ground below, knocking him out and securing victory. The Galactic Patrol take charge, preparing to escort Yunba back to the Galactic Prison. Krillin then rushes over to Master Roshi, who is punched ferociously from the forest and lies on the ground. Roshi assures Krillin that he's alright, but shares a humorous incident about the convicts he's confronted, mentioning that they won't let him grope them before correcting himself, stating that his attacks won't land. The three female convicts, Misa, Iwaza, and Kikaza arrive, vowing to get revenge. Krillin notices that the convicts possess powerful energy, but suggests Roshi use the same power he displayed against Jiren during the Tournament of Power to defeat them. However, Roshi explains that he can't do it without a clear mind, humorously realizing that his mind is currently clouded with wicked thoughts. Elsewhere, Tien and Chaozu battle Koiter, but Tien's physical attacks prove ineffective due to Koiter's hard Metal Man exterior. Chaozu recalls Vegeta's strategy against Vegeta in the Universe 6 tournament and advises Tien to insult Koiter, surprising him. Struggling to come up with an insult, Koiter advances towards Tien. However, Chaozu distracts the Metal Man long enough to come up with an effective insult, leading him to collapse. Back at the other battle, Master Roshi wears a bandana to cover his eyes, allowing him to dodge the convicts' attacks skillfully. He urges the girls to abandon their evil ways and return to the Galactic Prison, but they refuse and instead decide to employ their last resort, fusion into a larger, unattractive form. This form delivers a powerful blow, sending both Krillin and Roshi flying. Meanwhile, at the lookout, the group watches the battle, and Puar notices Yamcha struggling as well. Suddenly, Eska notices Saganbo's spaceship as it begins to descend to the ground. Android 18 continues to dominate Shimareka, while Android 17 comes close to defeating 7-3. However, Moro, surprising the group with his presence, arrives to grab 7-3 by the head, chastising him for using his abilities too freely. Moro instructs Shimareka to help him recover back at the spaceship, as he plans to use his power again at some point. The two take off, Saganbo joins Moro, and Piccolo and Gohan acknowledge Moro's immense power. With Goku and Vegeta missing, Gohan affirms their role in protecting Earth until they arrive. Moro, however, states he's in high spirits and explains that Earth is brimming with energy to steal, as he considers how to consume everyone. Saganbo volunteers to handle the Z-Fighters, dissatisfied with his crew's performance, and Moro agrees as long as he keeps them alive. Before entering the battle, Moro energizes Saganbo significantly with just a hint of his power, and his physique grows before everyone's eyes. At Moro's command, Saganbo rushes in, first attacking Android 17, overpowering him. When the other others attempt to support 17, Saganbo easily dominates them, slamming Gohan and 17 head first into the ground. Meanwhile, Tien and Chaozu, victorious over Koiter, encounter Yamcha, who's losing his battle against Zoyogi, revealed to be the staff officer of the Galactic Bandit Brigade. Krillin and Roshi hide from the fused female convict, but despite the odds, Krillin decides to go down fighting, hoping that Goku will be able to notice his last burst of power. In space, Goku en route to Earth senses the ongoing battles, but is unable to lock onto anyone's energy as it's depleting by the second. However, Krillin unleashes a burst of energy, alerting Goku of his position on Earth as he uses instant transmission to teleport there. Goku swiftly defeats the overweight convict who is about to attack Krillin and apologizes for not arriving sooner. The fusion of the three convicts dissolves, and Goku inquires where everyone else is. Krillin tells Goku they're all fighting around the globe and explains he should check on them to see if they need help. Goku agrees, but before taking off, Krillin inquires if Goku is strong enough to defeat Moro now. Goku says he believes so, and when Krillin questions if he's worried about Moro's power, Goku reveals that he's actually thrilled. He then teleports to Tien, Yamcha, and Chaozu, who are struggling in their battle against Zoyogi. Goku swiftly incapacitates Zoyogi with a gut punch, and Yamcha and Tien marvel at Goku's power. As the Galactic Patrol round up more of the defeated convicts, Yamcha informs Goku that Gohan and the others require his assistance. Goku then tosses Zoyogi off to Yamcha and teleports away once more. In the ongoing battle with the empowered Saganbo, only Gohan and Piccolo remain engaged, as androids 17, 18, and Jaco have retreated to the sidelines. Gohan and Piccolo combine their strength to fire a powerful blast at Saganbo, which Jaco believes will destroy the Earth if they continue. However, the attack proves ineffective, and Saganbo easily knocks Gohan and Piccolo aside with a single punch. 17 states Saganbo might be more than the group can handle, and as he advances toward a downed Gohan and Piccolo, Jaco questions Saganbo's loyalty to Moro. Saganbo explains that Moro saved the prisoners from the galactic prison and granted them power to ensure they would never be captured again. This prompts Jaco to insult Saganbo, stating that he's more pathetic than before, angering him. As Saganbo advances toward Jaco to end him, a presence appears and attacks Saganbo, much to the surprise of everyone on the battlefield. The relentless attacks on Saganbo ensue, followed by a devastating gut punch that leaves him reeling. Moro watches from the distance, and suddenly, Gohan announces that his dad has made it at last, prompting Piccolo to state that he can't see him or sense his energy. Jaco cuts in, stating he in fact can see Goku as he's moving at light speed, surprising Piccolo. Moro continues watching intently, realizing that the one called Son Goku has indeed arrived and tells him to reveal himself. Goku then sends Saganbo flying toward Moro, and Moro swats him aside with a flick of his finger. Goku appears behind Moro, stating that he'd hoped to take him out just as easily as he did Saganbo, and Moro recognizes Goku's significant increase in strength since their last encounter. However, Saganbo rises again, offering to continue fighting for his master, to which Moro signals for Goku to finish his fight. Goku teleports in front of Gohan and Piccolo and apologizes to Gohan for forcing him to fight again, although Gohan states he's the one who's sorry for being unable to protect the Earth. Goku instructs his son and Piccolo to step aside and let him handle Saganbo, and the two move to the sidelines. Goku then powers up to Super Saiyan Blue as Saganbo rushes toward him. Goku easily overpowers Saganbo and sends him crashing to the ground, challenging Moro as he believes the battle to be over. However, Saganbo rises again, this time appearing berserk and stronger than before, as Moro pumps him with more of his power. Goku demands Moro to stop as Saganbo's body has hit its limit, and suddenly Saganbo charges at Goku again, although his attack is blocked by the Saiyan, who urges him to stop fighting. As Saganbo continues his assault, Moro tells Goku to show him the technique he used when he arrived, as Super Saiyan Blue won't be enough to defeat him. As an added incentive, Moro continues pumping Saganbo with more energy, visibly damaging his body and angering Goku, who materializes behind Moro to attack, although his punch is blocked. Still wanting to fight, Saganbo speaks to Moro to allow him the pleasure of defeating Goku, but before he can finish his sentence, his body fails on him and he collapses lifeless, as Moro mocks him for not being able to handle such a small portion of energy. Outraged by Saganbo's death, Goku vows to defeat Moro using the power he's gained and unveils his new technique, Ultra Instinct Sign, a move recognized by Moro as divine power. Piccolo and Gohan watch in awe as Goku demonstrates he's able to activate Ultra Instinct Sign at will. Moro expresses his astonishment at a mortal mastering such a divine technique, and both Goku and Moro prepare for their impending battle. Goku unleashes a rapid flurry of punches with incredible force, creating air bursts that Moro tries to defend against. Moro retaliates by detonating the ground below Goku and firing small energy blasts as he takes off into the air, but Goku launches a close quarters assault with his fluid and agile movements. Moro appears to be on the edge following the relentless assault, and swiftly
Alright, guys, you
employs
found the
his
match.
magic
Should
to
start
briefly
doing this.
immobilize Goku, demonstrating one of his many techniques. He knocks the Saiyan toward a rock formation below, but Goku manages to break free of Moro's magic and teleports behind him. Meanwhile, on planet Yardrat, Vegeta senses the intensifying battle between Goku and Moro. As the battle escalates, with Moro emitting streams of lightning from his body to pursue Goku, Goku tells Gohan and Piccolo to step back. They inform him that they've already gathered the Earth's Dragon Balls to reverse the death and destruction caused by Moro, and they retreat to let Goku focus. Goku closes in on Moro, evading energy blasts along the way and charging up a Kamehameha. However, he suddenly redirects the attack, catching Moro off guard, as the other Moro was just an illusion. The two engage in a fierce aerial brawl, with Goku initially having the upper hand. Moro uses his magic to draw Goku closer, and Goku attempts to land swift mid-air blasts until he reaches Moro, where they exchange simultaneous blows to their midsections. Nearby, Gohan, Jocko, 17, and 18 observe the battle and discuss the apparent equality between Goku and Moro. Piccolo points out that Goku is faster, but notes that Moro has yet to utilize his energy-absorbing abilities. Just then, Moro attempts to absorb energy, but Goku's
Can you hear me?
Flying Nimbus!
Trunks.
Dragon Fist!
Silver time machine, as well as a crate of supplies. Here's how to launch. Find the power keys, then place them in the right spots. You found a power key. Go slot it. Ally down! If you intend to rescue them, watch out for enemies. This is bad. Somebody's down. Exercise extreme caution if you're going to help them. Great. You know what to do with that key.
Flying Nimbus!
think I can save these guys.
Stay calm. Stay calm. Oh, come on! Give me a freaking break.
These two guys didn't have to die, bro.
Transfer. Use it to hold the enemy back. Access the startup system from the central area. Just a little more to go. Then you're done.
And more than that.
The startup system's under attack.
Galley's gone!
You want to get closer.
Definitely not getting the top 100 for survivors.
The startup system is under attack. Stop it if you can, but retreat if you need to. Got it? This is bad.
Lightning quick reflexes allow him to avoid it and land a grazing blow on Moro's cheek. Moro realizes Goku's strategy, and Goku's friends become increasingly optimistic about his chances of winning as he gains the upper hand, pushing Moro back with his relentless assault. On Beerus's planet, Beerus and the Oracle Fish continue to fish, while Whis and Mirus watch the ongoing battle through the Angel Attendant staff. Whis commends Mirus for Goku's improved performance due to his training, and he questions if Goku has mastered Ultra Instinct and whether he will attain the silver-haired state. However, Mirus remains cautious in his response. Back on Earth, after Moro employs another one of his magical abilities, he criticizes Goku for rushing the battle, stating that he's made a grave error. Moro reveals that he can tap into an enormous reservoir of energy he gained by consuming countless planets since their previous encounter on New Namek, and states that he'll happily devour Goku's energy once he's been defeated, confusing Goku. Moro calls Goku a fool and instantly powers up, surprising everyone as he'd been holding back his true power, the power that he now states has transcended the gods. Moro gains the upper hand over Goku, who falls out of the Ultra Instinct state. Moro deduces that Goku avoided using the form for an extended period because he couldn't maintain it for long. Mirus informs Whis that Goku only achieved the Ultra Instinct sign state and never reached the mastered state. Whis expresses disappointment as the sign state is unstable and rapidly consumes energy. Mirus stresses that the battle battle now hinges on Goku's ability to manage the energy drain and maintain the form as long as possible. Moro taunts Goku for his weakening state, and Goku acknowledges his limitations, but suggests that Moro must have been stalling for time as well, implying that Moro can't defeat him at full power. Goku then reactivates his Ultra Instinct sign and readies himself for round 2. Both Goku and Moro make a bold decision to unleash their full power, causing their auras to clash with incredible intensity. In this intense struggle, Goku eventually gains the upper hand and pushes Moro back. Their battle transitions into close quarters combat with a flurry of ki blast exchange between them, followed by more intense attacks. Goku appears to gain an upper hand on Moro, landing a solid blow to his face along with a devastating assault that sends him hurtling to the ground. However, Moro rises, stating that he approached Goku too cautiously and that if this is the full extent of his power, there's no way he'll be defeated. As Beerus and Whis observe the battle from Beerus' planet, Beerus expresses concerns about Moro's strength, stating that it once again exceeded his expectations. Whis explains that Goku likely sensed the same since his strategy for unleashing his full power was executed. Whis goes on to say that Saiyans are known to exhibit untold power when their backs are against the wall, and we cut to planet Yardrat, where Pobara commends Vegeta for quickly mastering his new technique. Vegeta requests to be teleported to Earth, but he learns that Yardratians are prohibited from using teleportation to travel off-world. Additionally, Pobara can't sense Goku's energy, prompting Vegeta to correctly deduce it's because Goku's using Ultra Instinct, a form only perceivable by gods. Determined to reach Earth, Vegeta demands to be taught instant transmission, believing that he can master it swiftly. Back on Earth, the tide of the battle shifts significantly in Moro's favor as Goku succumbs to exhaustion. Moro expresses his amazement at Goku's newfound power, but asserts that Goku has reached his limit. Refusing to yield, Goku strains to maintain his Ultra Instinct sign form, but Moro effortlessly incapacitates him. Beerus is troubled by this outcome, while Beerus nonchalantly mentions his hunger to Whis. Whis interrupts the feed to Earth's battle, signaling his intention to leave and stating that Earth is beyond salvation. Beerus is worried that Universe 7 will face destruction if Moro prevails, but Whis reminds him that only gods of destruction and supreme Kais are permitted to interfere, adhering to the natural order of the universe. Goku, now completely defeated and returned to his base form, is on the brink of energy depletion when androids 17 and 18 intervene. They declare that they don't have energy for Moro to absorb, and Moro is surprised to learn that Earth possesses such advanced technology. Vegeta, in the midst of learning instant transmission, fails and materializes into a nearby garbage can and attempts again, this time realizing that Goku's spirit has suddenly appeared again and correctly assumes he's been defeated. To save time, Pobara offers to break his planet's rules to take Vegeta to Earth, but Vegeta declines his offer, opting to pull off the move himself. Pobara restores Vegeta's original battle gear, and as the Saiyan Prince focuses, he successfully performs instant transmission, landing back on Earth. Back at the battlefield, the androids' efforts to confront Moro are futile, as they're unable to inflict any damage. Gohan questions Piccolo on if they should help, but Piccolo rejects it, as it would expose them to having their energy absorbed, further empowering Moro. As Goku sits helpless and injured, Vegeta suddenly appears in front of him, surprising Goku to learn that Vegeta performed instant transmission. However, Vegeta clarifies that it was likely a one-time feat and that he has no intention of learning it further, having now acquired a superior technique. A confident Vegeta then tells 17 and 18 to stop fighting and declares his intention to defeat Moro, who's pleased to see Vegeta has finally arrived. After a few insults and banter between the two, Vegeta states that Moro finally found someone stronger than him, transforming into his evolved Super Saiyan Blue form and charging forward. Vegeta delivers a powerful punch that sends Moro skidding backward, his face contorted in pain. However, Moro quickly regains his composure, acknowledging Vegeta's increased strength. Despite this, Moro maintains his confidence, believing that Vegeta is still no match for him. Undaunted, Vegeta charges forward again, launching a rapid series of blows. Piccolo admires Vegeta's enhanced power, but recognizes that he's still not as strong as Moro. Moro stops Vegeta's attacks and kicks him into a cliffside, but Vegeta swiftly returns to the fray, annoying Moro. Gohan wonders what's gotten into Vegeta, but Piccolo asserts that Vegeta's never been one to misread an opponent's strength, and that he must have some sort of plan. When Moro attempts to drain Vegeta's energy, Vegeta evades and counters with a backhand to the face, followed by a few kicks to the midsection. Feeling a bit overwhelmed, Moro seizes Vegeta and drives him into the ground, gasping for breath, and soon notices that something's amiss. To everyone's surprise, Vegeta rises and gains the upper hand in battle, his strategy gradually overpowering Moro as bits of energy appear to be leaving leaving his body. Goku discerns Vegeta's technique, and the Saiyan Prince identifies it as forced spirit fission. From a distance, Gohan wonders if Vegeta is becoming stronger, but Piccolo believes that Moro is in fact growing weaker. They observe Moro's energy leaving his body and coalescing into a radiant sphere in the sky. After being dealt another powerful blow, Moro stands up, now appearing elderly, and inquires about what Vegeta has done to him. Vegeta explains that he's liberated all of the energy that Moro stole from the planets and their inhabitants, and with a simple gesture, Vegeta restores the energy to its rightful places, catching the attention of the onlookers at the Lookout and planet Yardrat. Goku informs Piccolo and Gohan about forced spirit fission, a technique that disentangles entities that fused or have absorbed power. While relentlessly pummeling Moro, Vegeta suggests that he could even use the technique on Piccolo to extract the Namekian's Kami and Neo he had previously fused with. Goku commends Vegeta on his ability to use the technique, and Vegeta confidently declares himself more talented than Goku and says that victory is his for this battle. Growing increasingly irate, Moro attempts a lightning attack, but Vegeta continues to outmatch him, liberating more energy that he's stolen. Mid-battle, Vegeta expresses his disdain for fusion and absorption as they don't reflect one's true strength. He admonishes Moro to fight using his intrinsic power and kicks him away, mocking him as he stands injured. Elsewhere on planet Yardrat, Pibara clarifies that Vegeta's actions will not resurrect the deceased inhabitants of the planets being restored due to too much time having gone by. However, those with strong life forces will be revived. On New Namek, the Namekians previously drained by Moro's energy are brought back to life. At the Lookout, Eska senses these events and believes that the Namekian Dragon Balls left behind have safeguarded the planet and its inhabitants from destruction. As Vegeta continues battling Moro, Piccolo expresses astonishment at Vegeta's transformation, not only in terms of his physical strength, but also as a person. Piccolo recalls Vegeta's history as a villain, including his role in invading Earth with Nappa and his past crimes under Frieza. He recognizes that Vegeta has evolved to the point where he now fights to save not only his home planet, but also the universe from Moro. Piccolo credits his transformation to Goku and adds that Vegeta has finally managed to surpass him. Goku vows to exceed Vegeta once more, and believing the battle to be nearly over, Vegeta inquires if Jaco prefers Moro to be captured or killed, prompting Jaco to opt for a swift execution. Vegeta declares his intention to send Moro to hell, but Moro arrogantly proclaims he won't go there. Instead, he'll rule the galaxy for eternity. Despite his dwindling power, Moro asserts that he still possesses his magic. He distracts Vegeta by generating a wave of the planet's energy from beneath him, exploiting the momentary surprise to take off into the air. Vegeta takes off in pursuit, but he arrives too late. Moro reaches Saganbo's spaceship ahead of him, where he promptly eliminates Shimareka without hesitation. Afterward, Moro seizes 7-3, having retained a backup of himself within him. Vegeta, having reached the top of the spaceship, witnesses as Moro swallows 7-3 whole and then fires an attack to stop him, destroying Saganbo's spaceship with a massive explosion. When the smoke dissipates, Vegeta is shocked by what he sees. On the ground below, Goku observes that Moro's power has surged to unprecedented levels, while Vegeta crashes to the ground in his base form. Moro then lands in front of the group, displaying a new appearance that's part Moro and part 7-3. Goku and Piccolo question Moro about his transformation, and Moro discloses that he not only had 7-3 replicate his magical abilities, but also his combat skills. This created a full backup of himself inside 7-3 that he could utilize at any time. With the absorption of 7-3, Moro now possesses access to his unique capabilities, boasting that it's elevated his power to previously unimaginable heights. He then mockingly congratulates the Dragon Team for pushing him this far, before warning them to prepare for their imminent demise. Suddenly, Vegeta makes a triumphant return in his Super Saiyan Blue Evolved form, declaring to defeat Moro once again. As Vegeta charges ahead, Moro adeptly evades his attacks, stating how Vegeta can't use Force Spirit Fission without inflicting damage, something he won't allow to happen again. Gohan and Piccolo attempt to inform Vegeta that Moro's newfound powers are temporary and will return to their original state in 30 minutes. However, Moro discloses that the power has returned to its source, negating any time limit. He then seizes Vegeta by the neck and copies his abilities. Moro pummels Vegeta and sends him crashing to the ground, feeling the effects of the assault. Moro then concludes with Vegeta's signature Big Bang attack to finish him off, creating a gigantic explosion and leaving Vegeta incapacitated in his base form as he mocks his techniques. The situation escalates as Piccolo reminds Goku of their past reliance on the fusion fusion dance and Patora fusion as a last resort, but he states that it's no longer viable now that Moro has acquired Force Spirit Fission. Meanwhile, at the lookout, everyone observes the dire circumstances. Dende decides to descend to the battlefield to use his healing powers to save everyone, despite Bulma's frantic warning that his choice could destroy the Dragon Balls if he perishes. On the ground, Krillin rushes to the scene with a bag of Senzu beans, regretting not giving some to Goku earlier. Gohan and Piccolo launch a synchronized attack against Moro, but they're vastly outmatched. Piccolo manages to hold Moro in place, giving Gohan an opportunity to ensnare him using Gotenks' Galactic Donut technique. Goku, now powered up to perfected Super Saiyan Blue, unleashes the instant Kamehameha, struggling to unleash its full impact as Moro effortlessly halts the blast. Goku continues the attack at full power, triggering a massive explosion that covers the battlefield. The smoke dissipates and the group see that Goku's only managed to destroy Moro's left arm. To everyone's shock, Moro's arm swiftly regenerates and he impales Goku through the chest with it, demonstrating his access to Piccolo's regeneration through 7-3's previously copied abilities. As Goku falls to the ground, mortally wounded, Moro attempts to steal his energy, but Gohan snaps and attacks Moro, though he's unable to make him flinch before he's ferociously punched in the face, resulting in the loss of several teeth. As Moro remarks on a Saiyan's ability to receive a power boost when enraged, Dende telepathically communicates his plan to Piccolo. However, Moro hears the conversation, halting his finishing blow to Gohan